Hi, this is David Carr. I'm the founder of the WordPress for Toastmasters project, and I also run the Toastmasters.org club website hosting service. About a year ago, I made a set of digital tools for running contests, freely available through contest.toastmasters.org. They're also built into any club website that uses the WordPress for Toastmasters system. If you use them, they'll allow you to run a contest that is more matched to the online format as opposed to trying to pass PDFs back and forth or pictures of PDFs. You can use them for online contests. They're obviously particularly good for that. You can also use them for in-person contests with judges perhaps voting off a smartphone. Now, the digital ballot mirrors the same category and point system that you have on the paper ballot. I recommend having a copy of the paper ballot handy, both for backup and also for reference on what the different point categories mean and what the ranges mean. But it helps you do the math, is one advantage that I like about it. And so you can have it automatically rank people according to the scores that you've assigned them. And then you, to make it official, choose your first, second, and third. Or if you're the tiebreaker, you would rank all of them. You type in your name as a digital signature, and you submit this. Now you're going to see briefly a little message that says checking whether the vote has been received. Now it's been received on the vote counting dashboard. Now the vote counting dashboard is where I, as the chief judge, and may bring the ballot counters into this through screen sharing as well, can see which votes have come in. If somebody hasn't voted yet, we can chase them down. But if everything goes smoothly, very quickly you're going to get a result. Now, the way you set this up is a couple of different ways. If you do have a club website that uses the WordPress for Toastmasters system, whether it's hosted on Toastmasters.org or whatever, you can have it associated with a sign-up sheet, an agenda form, where people have signed up to compete. So that has some advantages. You would go under Agenda to Contest Dashboard, and you as the person who's organizing the contest would go ahead and put in the parameters here. Now after this, it will be locked to your password. You can invite other people in who also need to have access. So what I'm doing is I'm specifying a couple of contests and also a role on the agenda, on the sign-up form, that I'm going to synchronize with. So you'll see some of the names are already filled in for the contestants, and more would be added if more people continue to sign up. Now, there's also a contest.toastmasters.org system. This is where you can get access for free. Hopefully you'll want to support the project, but you would just put in the name of your club or your division or whatever and the date of your event. And again, you're going to come to this kind of a screen. Now, it doesn't show a role to sync with on the agenda because we're not using an agenda here. We're using it independently of that. But still, we're going to set this up. And now when we get to the form, we'll just type in the name of our contestants. Now, if we are at the point where we're actually ready to start the contest, we could set the sort order, make this the official order in which the contestants will be speaking. But usually you would do that as a separate step. Now here, I'm going to put in my judges. Now, if I am doing this on a club website where my members have user accounts, then I can pick from the list and assign people to be judges. So I'll assign this guy and that one. And we're also going to invite in some guest judges. So here we're just typing in a name. It's not going to be associated with their password, but we can have some additional judges that we bring in, and everybody's going to get their own personalized voting link, voting ballot link. So we come up with our list of judges. We designate one to be the tiebreaker. We can also designate somebody to be our timer, and we'll submit that. And we'll see a listing of all those different links. Now in the Security tab, there's a listing of the dashboard users. I was logged in on my demo site as Abraham Lincoln when I set up this club contest. So Abe's already on the list. I can add somebody else to also give them access. And I can decide whether I want to have all the ballot links be password protected. That's obviously more secure, but there's also an argument for turning that off just because it's easier for people to click the link and just get in, and as long as they don't share the link with anybody else, the coding on the link will be your protection for that ballot. Now, of course, if you've invited in guest judges, they won't have a password anyway. On the contest.toastmasters site, so the standalone version of this, independent of the club website, it does allow you to actually create user accounts just associated with that website. So you would just put in their name and email address and they would get an invitation to set a password. So if you wanted to have passwords turned on, that's how you would do it on the independent site. Now we can email out all these contest links as a batch by clicking that button that says email links to the people. Now it's going to pick up the email lists addresses of the registered users based on their user account, the email associated with their user account. If you invited in guest judges, you would need to type in their email address. If I look in my email, here's the thing that's come in. Abraham Lincoln has appointed me as a judge, and here are the contest links, and there's also the practice link that I can try just to get familiar with the system. Now, if I click on this prematurely, I'll get a message saying the contest's not ready to start. The order of the speakers hasn't been set. So as a contest organizer, one of the things I can do is set the speaking order, letting the computer randomize the list of names. Now, you can either do that here on the judge's dashboard, or there is also an option where you follow a separate link. Maybe you give that link to your contest master who takes it into the speaker's briefing and does it in front of them. So this is a separate web screen that doesn't have any of the other information that the speakers aren't supposed to know, like the judges' names, but they can see the speaking order being set right in front of them. Now, if we go back to our perspective as the judge who's signed in and waiting for things to start, if we're signed in at the moment that the speaking order is set, the screen will actually refresh after a moment and show the judging form. In the event that somebody's unable to use the online voting system, the digital voting system for whatever reason, and you get in their vote some other way, you can also use these backup voting forms that are displayed when you check the box that says show forms, so that you can record their vote and have it added to the totals this same way on the back end. With that, I think we've covered pretty much all the possibilities for you to have a great and smooth online contest.